What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to have a look at hitboxes in Modern Warfare as they relate to the different operators. I've been getting asked about this more and more recently, so I thought it was finally time to cover this since I've been responding individually to people, so I thought I might as well just make a video on it. The big question that a lot of people have is, who has the smallest hitbox? Which one of the operators has the smallest hitbox in the game? And I'm going to tell you guys right up front here, I spoke directly to the devs about this before the game launched when I was visiting the studio, or it might have been at the pre-launch event. I can't remember exactly when it was, but I talked directly to the developers about this, and they did confirm that the hitboxes are identical for all operators. So even though the character models might be slightly different sizes, according to the developers, the hitboxes are just laid over top of those character rigs. Now, instead of just taking their word for it blindly, I did hop into a custom match here and do some testing for you guys to show you what it looks like. So I took the two operators that would be considered on the extreme ends of size. So we have Minotaur as our larger operator. As far as I'm aware, at least, he is the thickest of all the character models. And then we have Charlie, which, if I'm not mistaken, she is the skinniest of all of the character models. Now, having a look at the models themselves, keeping in mind I made sure that these were standing in the exact same position and sized up to match each other perfectly. First off, we have Minotaur, and then as it fades into Charlie, you can see that Minotaur is clearly a bigger character model than Charlie. He's got much broader shoulders, also a wider midsection area, even though a lot of that is just his equipment that's sticking out. It's not actually part of his body. But when you overlay him like this, you can clearly see that Minotaur is a bigger character. Although Charlie does look to be slightly taller, but she also has a hat on, and that could also be partially just down to her stance being slightly different. So looking at this, there is a clear difference, and therefore a lot of people gravitate towards the female character models in this game because they think, well, it's a smaller character model, therefore it's less likely that the enemy is going to hit me. Whereas if I play as a really thick character, then they're going to be more likely to be able to hit that character because of the bigger hitboxes, in their minds at least. So let's put these hitboxes to the test. Let's start it off with Minotaur, and the first thing that I wanted to point out is there are several areas of Minotaur where you can shoot directly through the character model without getting a hit on him. So right on the tips of his shoulders, that's one section. And then also in his midsection, there is a pretty big range where you can shoot through the model itself and not get a hit. Now, admittedly, a bunch of this stuff in real life would just be equipment anyways, and it wouldn't actually be his body, so it does make sense. But you can go quite narrow with this on his waistline and still not get a hit. Overall, though, these areas where you are able to shoot directly through the character model, especially on these shoulders where that's clearly a part of his body, it's a very, very small range. It's only like a few pixels inwards, and therefore you're not going to run into too many situations in a real game, especially when characters are moving and stuff, where this would be any issue for you whatsoever. Now, taking that testing over to Charlie's character model, as you can see here, we see the exact opposite. There are areas where you can shoot clearly off target on Charlie and still get a hit on her. So the hitboxes are clearly extending a little bit outside of the character model on Charlie. And if you were to average these two out between Minotaur and Charlie, you would see exactly the same hitbox. So for anybody thinking that they're getting some sort of a hitbox advantage by using a different character model, that's just not true at all. However, I do want to point out that a smaller character model may help you a little bit with visibility, because if you're standing right on the edge of a piece of cover, for instance, you are going to be exposing less of the character model to the enemy players, and therefore you've got a better chance of not being seen. On top of this, there's also the placebo effect. If you are playing as a female character model, when enemy players are trying to shoot at you, they see a smaller character, and therefore their confidence in being able to hit that character might go down, and this could actually harm their aim when shooting at you. Now, is this going to have a major impact on the enemy players being able to hit you? No, not at all. I don't think this is really going to play into many situations. But if you're one of those players that's trying to squeeze out every little ounce of advantage that you possibly can in the game, then I guess this is one of those things that might help you every now and then by a very small degree. As for my thoughts on this, I think they're actually handling this pretty much perfectly. I think in a game like Call of Duty, hitboxes should be consistent across every single player in the game, because it's not like a hero shooter where you're balancing them out, where like you might have a bigger character model, but you also have more health, for instance. In Call of Duty, everybody's got the same health, every operator has the same mobility, and therefore they should have the same hitbox. Also, I do like the fact that they use very small margins for this. So like with Minotaur, for instance, you'd be hard-pressed to find in a real game a situation where you are actively shooting right in that small margin where you're technically on the character model but not on the hitbox. And I would definitely prefer a more noticeable, larger hitbox on a smaller character model than a smaller hitbox on a larger character model. Now, before we wrap up the video, I did want to give a quick plug to my Twitch channel. This is something I haven't done in a while, and since it's a short video, I just wanted to remind you guys, or for anybody that's new, that I do stream on Twitch several times a week. And if you're watching this video shortly after it goes live, I might be live right now. I'm planning on streaming tonight, so I will leave a link to my Twitch down below. If you guys want to come check it out, I'd really appreciate that. If not, no worries, just wanted to make sure I give you guys that reminder. But with that, I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about how they're handling hitboxes in Modern Warfare? Do you like the fact that all of the operators have the same hitbox, even though the character models aren't perfectly the same size? Or would you prefer a system where hitboxes actually properly matched all of the character models individually? Just let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.
I'm the best player in the world.
You scored the victory. Let's have another.
That was nice.